Hi everyone. When you're interviewing someone, it's very difficult to identify whether they're going to be suitable for the role with 1 hour of discussion. And that's why, once the person is on board, um, often, we double check, did we make a right decision? And it's a surprise in many cases. But by then, it's already too late and it's too expensive, in terms of time, efforts, the overall coordination by multiple teams, and the person is already on board, and then you kind of discover that there was some confusion. I think there was some disconnect in terms of the fitment of the role, and that's why this video. As always, I have 3 tips to share with you how to get around this, right? Let's jump right into it. So tip number 1 is, check if the person has been improvising in their career. Yeah. A good example is if you're into cricket, I'll talk about MS Dhoni is one of the by far one of the best batsmen in the sport ever witnessed, and MS Dhoni is anything but orthodox. So he's completely unconventional and unorthodox in his stance, his techniques, and his shot selection, and that's been primary reason for his success in this entire career. And many youngsters have been now mimicking his techniques to get the success. So ask leading questions to see have this person introduced something new, something that the rest of the team did not think of, something completely out of the box, to solve a problem. Yeah. And the one word for this, the entire thing is actually called innovation, right? Is the person is able to innovate every step of the way. And if you see that in multiple different projects that the person has deployed certain techniques, something totally unorthodox, but really help to solve problem, he created a new path, he or she, then you're talking to a person who could actually go places in your company as well. That's number 1. Number 2, do not hire for S&S, hire for P&P. And what are these? So S&S is skill and seniority. So skill, you move bunch of folks into a training room and have them trained on a certain skill. They walk out with a certification saying that I have the skill now. Officially I'm certified, right? And seniority is a time thing. So you have people 5, 10, 15, 20 years of experience showing up on the resume, and these two things can misguide you when you are identifying a right candidate for the role. When you look at a LinkedIn profile or a resume, the only skill and seniority are the ones which are apparent and which are visible in the front end. And but then more than that, you should look for P&P. What are P&P? P&P are the passion and potential. So passion is all about how excited they are about their current job and the new job, or the industry, the technology that they're working for, the domain, the industry domain they are working for. And as you speak about their projects, the successes, the people, the past companies, you cannot miss the passion. Okay? Passion is something that you can actually see in people's voices and their expressions, that something that they've achieved or they're going to achieve, they're going to go places. So and without this, you can't get much out of a person. So imagine a person with skill level 2 you're looking at, and but then not much passion. There's another person who's actually skill level 1 but they're really passionate. So when you hire both the folks to a particular organization, after a certain period, like maybe 6 months or 1 year later, the person with the passion can go to skill level 2 or even 3 proficiency levels, right? Whereas a person at skill level 2 proficiency level will stay there or even go back to 1, because these days if you are not moving forward, you're actually going backwards in terms of the learning. So that's about passion. Just look for passion. Second thing is potential. Potential is about what the person. It's not about what the person is today, but it's about what the person can be tomorrow. And this is about how much ceiling they have left over for them to learn and grow. So most of the times when you get somebody in, the person is super rocket scientist, extremely skilled, But then if the person has already hit the ceiling, then eventually when they come into your company, the incremental value that you're going to get is very, very less. Also, always remember, a person who's already hit the ceiling will also have very less of morale, because your morale and excitement level is directly proportional to how much more you have potential to learn more. The more things that you can learn, like, the gap, right, the places that you're going, the moment you know that you are actually already hit the ceiling, which means that everything else that you do, you basically, it's a repetitive process for you. There's nothing new for you, and that's why, and that brings down your morale and passion as well. So do not hire for just S&S, which is skill and seniority, but hire for passion and potential. So that's the tip number two. Tip number three, last but not least, hire for empathy. You've heard this many times, and most of the companies and HR organizations are looking for this skill, especially what is emotional quotient, what is this person's ability to influence others, ability to understand, be in their shoes, right? So now I'll tell you one thing. Basically, empathy is not about that person's soft skills, that person's say kindness, right? It is about the overall success of the organization as well, because only with empathy you are able to understand the shortcomings and limitations and challenges of other teams. And when you do and acknowledge, the other team starts to trust you, because you are making choices knowingly. It's informed choices. Once the trust is built, then there is a healthy information exchange among the teams, and there is a good success of the projects. So the empathy is a new word for teamwork. So earlier it used to be a nice to have thing, now it is actually must have, right? So look for a person, the examples and how the person comes across, the person kind, considerate, willing to understand, willing to pause, listen. All these skills are very, very important, right? So just to quickly summarize all the three tips, the tip number one is the person is improvising. Are they better than yesterday? Are they innovating? That's number one. Number two, do not hire for S&S, which is skill and seniority, but hire for P&P, which is passion and potential. Right? Tip number three, last but not least, which is hire for empathy. Look for people who are kind, considerate, and willing to get along and let things go, forgive and forget, but still stay focused on the job and its target. Okay, and these are the tips. Even if you're not looking to interview someone or hire someone, but if you're looking to up your game, or you are going to appear for an interview, then exhibit these values and successes with you all the time. So with that, thank you very much, and see you in the next video.